The journey to wealth and success begins not in the hands but in the mind. The masses wander aimlessly through life, hoping to strike gold by chance. They wait for luck, stumble through mediocrity, and waste their years in hesitation. But the elite, the 1% who rise above the rest, they do not wait, they decide, they define, they dominate, and at the foundation of their climb is one unshakable truth: they possess a definite purpose. A definite purpose is not a passing thought or a temporary wish. It is a consuming obsession, a burning desire that overshadows doubt, fear, and distraction. The 1% elite wake up with it, sleep with it, and leave each hour with it. They do not drift, they drive. Their purpose is not based on what others think or what the world offers them. They do not chase every trend, every opportunity, or every shiny object. They choose their aim with clarity, and they attach every breath to its realization. The difference between those who succeed like the elite and those who never break free is not talent, it is intention. Most people live without truly knowing what they want. They say they desire success, but their actions scream confusion. The elite know exactly what they want and why they want it. They write it down. They visualize it. They speak it as if it has already happened, and they move through life as though their goal were guaranteed. A person without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder adrift, at the mercy of winds and waves. But a person with a purpose can cut through the fiercest storm. The 1% do not escape adversity. They are simply too focused to be distracted by it. They have trained their minds to reject everything that does not move them closer to their purpose. Every decision, every association, every investment of time or energy is judged by one standard: does this help me fulfill my purpose? When the average person hesitates, the elite execute. They do not need permission to pursue their dreams because their purpose gives them internal authority. They don't ask, "Can I?" They declare, "I will." That conviction radiates from them and attracts resources, opportunities, and people who support their vision. Success to them is not a question, it's a process. And that process begins with the clarity of purpose. Purpose has energy. When you commit to it, life begins to move differently. Ideas appear, connections are made, people are drawn to you. The elite understand this. They live as magnets because they vibrate with focus. There is no confusion in their energy, and because they know where they are going, they avoid the traps of comparison and competition. They are not trying to be like anyone else. They are trying to become who they were born to be. But definite purpose alone is not enough. The mind must be shaped to serve that purpose. For wealth is not built by hands alone. It is built by thought. Thought is the blueprint of fortune. The elite treat their thoughts like royal treasures. They do not leave them to chance. They discipline their minds. They focus their mental energy only on what they want to see in the physical world. Every fortune that has ever been built started as an idea planted in a fertile mind, a thought backed by belief, desire, and action. The masses let their thoughts wander through fear, limitation, and doubt, but the elite are architects of their mental worlds. They design their thoughts with the precision of engineers. They do not allow fear to reside in their minds. They do not speak the language of failure. They only think, speak, and act in alignment with the life they have chosen to build. To think like the elite, one must understand that thought is not passive. It is creative. Every thought is a seed, and what you plant you will harvest. The elite plant seeds of abundance, vision, faith, and discipline. They never let a day pass without cultivating the garden of their mind. They do not entertain destructive thoughts because they know those thoughts will become their reality. They understand that every limitation accepted in the mind becomes a chain in the real world. The masses are imprisoned by thoughts they never chose. They inherit ideas of lack, unworthiness, fear, and mediocrity from others and call it reality. But the elite reject those lies. They do not live according to what is common. They rise by what is uncommon. They craft their beliefs like weapons. They train their minds to see possibility where others see barriers, and because they think differently, they live differently. The mind is a workshop, not a warehouse. The elite do not store useless information. They produce value from thought. They do not indulge in mental laziness. They study, reflect, create, and plan. They do not waste time on gossip, negativity, or complaints. They value the power of their mind too much to misuse it. While the masses drown in distractions, the elite sharpen their thoughts into tools of creation. Thoughts are invisible forces that shape the visible world. The homes, the businesses, the technologies, the empires, they all began in someone's mind. The elite know this. That is why they protect their thoughts like gold. They guard the input to their mind. They control what they read, what they watch, and who they listen to. They refuse to allow poisonous thinking to invade their inner world. They are ruthless with their mental environment because they understand its impact. They practice autosuggestion. They speak their goals aloud. They visualize their future daily. They affirm their power, worth, and destiny. These are not empty rituals. They are mental disciplines. The elite understand that repetition of thought becomes belief, and belief becomes behavior, and behavior becomes destiny. They do not wait for circumstances to change. They rewire their thoughts until the world conforms. There is no success without control of thought, and there is no control of thought without definite purpose. The two are married. Purpose gives direction, thought gives design. Together they produce results. This is why the 1% rise while the rest remain. They think with intention, they believe with strength, they move with clarity, and they never, ever surrender the power of their minds to anything outside themselves. There is a force greater than knowledge, stronger than talent, and more vital than luck. It is the bridge between thought and reality, the unseen current that turns dreams into gold. That force is faith, fueled action. The elite do not sit in meditation and expect fortune to fall into their laps. They do not drown in overthinking, nor do they wait for perfect conditions. They move decisively, relentlessly, with faith in their vision, even when the world gives them no reason to believe. Faith to them is not a passive emotion, it is a weapon. Every member of the 1% elite acts as if their goal is already accomplished. They walk with a confidence that does not come from evidence, it comes from belief. They train their minds to accept their vision as inevitable. That belief becomes a command to their subconscious mind, which in turn influences every word, every decision, and every action. There is no room for doubt, because doubt is a seed of failure. Faith, on the other hand, is the soil in which all great achievements grow. Action without faith is mechanical, inconsistent, and fragile. It crumbles under pressure, but faith-fueled action is unstoppable. It carries a fire that does not go out in the face of rejection, criticism, or temporary defeat. The 1% do not require applause to move forward. They do not need immediate results to feel progress. They are driven by an inner knowing that what they seek is already theirs, as long as they do not stop. The average person waits for signs. They want proof before they act. They say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the elite reverse the order. They say, "I'll see it because I believe it." That is why they win. They act while others hesitate. They plant while others wait for perfect weather. And because they act in faith, they learn, they adapt, and they evolve faster than anyone else. Faith is not blind, it is visionary. It sees through failure and recognizes it as feedback. It looks beyond current circumstances and focuses on the end result. The elite understand that faith is not pretending something is real. It is knowing it will become real because of what you do. They do not concern themselves with how every step will unfold. They only concern themselves with the next step, and they take it with full force. Faith-fueled action breaks inertia. It creates momentum. It turns an idea into a movement. Most people are stuck in cycles of hesitation. They overanalyze, they delay, and they drown in fear. But the 1% act. They move first. They launch before they're ready. They figure it out as they go, and because they are in motion, the universe responds, resources show up, people align, doors open, not because the way was easy, but because they refused to stand still. When they fall, they rise. When they lose, they learn. They are not bound by emotion. They are driven by decision. Emotion is fleeting. Faith is chosen. The elite choose faith daily. They reinforce it with words, with vision, with relentless forward motion. They are not spiritual spectators. They are creators, and creation happens only when belief fuels movement. But action alone is not enough. The elite do not move randomly. They act with precision because they possess something far more powerful than scattered effort. They possess specialized knowledge. In a world drowning in information, it is not the most educated who succeed. It is those who master one thing and become irreplaceable in it. The 1% do not chase 100 opportunities. They dominate one. Specialized knowledge is not given, it is earned. It comes from study, observation, experience, and repetition. The elite know this. They go deeper than anyone else. While others skim the surface, they immerse. They are not satisfied with knowing what everyone else knows. They must know more. They must understand the why, the how, the hidden mechanisms behind success in their field. They turn knowledge into power by transforming it into skill. Most people rely on general education, believing credentials will unlock doors, but the elite know better. They don't seek titles. They seek mastery. They understand that the marketplace does not reward degrees, it rewards value. And value comes from depth, from insight, from solving problems that others cannot. The elite choose a domain and go to war with ignorance until they own that space. They do not read casually. They study strategically. Every book, every course, every mentor, every hour spent in learning is aimed like a laser at sharpening their edge. They do not accumulate information. They extract transformation. They test what they learn. They apply it. They teach it. They embed it until it becomes second nature. Their knowledge is not stored. It is alive, moving through every conversation, every decision, every move they make. And with that specialized knowledge, they separate themselves from the crowd. They become trusted, they become known, they become indispensable. The masses fear competition, but the elite eliminate it by becoming the best. Not because they were born superior, but because they were willing to do what others would not. Go deeper, stay longer, and learn more. They are not distracted by trends or by what others are doing. Their focus is not divided, it is deliberate. They do not panic when markets shift. They anticipate, they do not guess. They calculate, they are masters of their craft, and mastery brings authority. And authority brings wealth. People pay the best, people follow the best, people trust the best. The elite know that wealth is a byproduct of contribution, and contribution is amplified through expertise. They do not wait to be chosen, they choose themselves. They do not wait for an employer, a client, or a partner to validate their worth. They build their value so high that validation becomes irrelevant. They rise because they invested the time to develop what most overlook: deep, irreplaceable skill. Specialized knowledge makes them confident, it makes them resourceful, it makes them capable of building, creating, leading, and earning in any economy. The average person knows a little about a lot. The elite know a lot about what matters, and that depth gives them power in negotiation, in strategy, and in execution. While others feel overwhelmed by the complexity of the world, the elite simplify it through understanding. They see patterns, they see opportunities others miss, and they seize those opportunities because they are prepared. There is no wealth without value, and no value without expertise. The elite build this expertise with intention. They do not expect to be paid for time. They expect to be paid for results, and results come from mastery. They do not accept the average level of understanding. They know that greatness requires immersion, and immersion leads to insight that cannot be faked or copied. They respect knowledge not as a trophy, but as a tool, and they sharpen it daily. They do not fear learning. They do not resist change. They adapt quickly because their minds are trained. They stay ahead because they invest in what others ignore, the development of deep, rare, profitable knowledge, and through that knowledge they command respect, opportunity, and wealth. There is a quality so rare, so misunderstood, and yet so essential that without it, even the greatest talents and the finest plans fall to dust. That quality is persistence, not the loud kind, not the kind that screams on the stage or posts daily for validation. True persistence is quiet, it's patient, it's brutal, it's a force that refuses to die, and it is this force that separates the elite from the ordinary. The world bows not to the most brilliant, but to the most relentless. Look at the ones who rise to wealth and dominance, not because their journey was smooth, but because nothing could make them stop. The masses try something once, maybe twice. If it doesn't work, they retreat, make excuses, and change direction. The 1%, they persist until the wall breaks, or until they become powerful enough to walk through it. Persistence is a habit, not an emotion. The elite don't wait to feel motivated. They do what must be done whether they feel like it or not. Their mission isn't tied to mood, it's tied to identity. They don't dabble in success, they are obsessed with it, and obsession, when backed by discipline, becomes unstoppable momentum. It's not that they never fail. They fail more than most, but where others see failure as defeat, they see it as data. To the elite, every setback is a sharpening stone. Every rejection is redirection. They do not personalize failure. They analyze it, learn from it, adjust their strategy, and keep moving. They understand that success is not a door you knock on once. It's a door you pound on day after day until it breaks open, or you build your own. The masses are always looking for shortcuts, but the elite have accepted that the long road is the only road. Persistence is not just doing the same thing over and over, it is about doing the right thing, refining it, learning, and refusing to quit. The 1% are willing to look like fools while they master their craft. They are willing to be misunderstood, doubted, and even ridiculed, because they know that consistency beats intensity when intensity is inconsistent. While others burn out chasing results, the elite rise slowly, steadily, and permanently. They've trained themselves to outlast. While others depend on external validation, they have internal resolve. Their persistence is not born of desperation, but of vision. They are pulled by the picture in their minds. They endure the grind not because they love the pain, but because the result is worth every sacrifice. They know that the battle belongs to those who refuse to surrender, and so they persist through loneliness, through exhaustion, through silence, and through seasons of invisibility. But they do not persist alone. That's where another hidden weapon of the elite comes into play, the Mastermind alliance. Power, real power, does not come from individual effort alone. It is created when great minds align in harmony with a shared vision. The elite know that to build anything massive, anything lasting, they must harness more than their own capacity. They must join forces with others who are as committed, as sharp, and as driven as they are. The average person fears competition. The elite form coalitions. They understand that one person can only see one perspective, but a mastermind sees from all angles. They do not seek agreement for the sake of comfort. They seek challenge for the sake of growth. In a true mastermind, egos dissolve and purpose reigns. Ideas clash, sharpen, evolve, and from those collisions of thought, brilliance is born. You will never find a titan of industry who built alone. Behind every empire is a circle of minds, each contributing energy, strategy, and accountability. The 1% don't waste time with people who don't match their ambition. They do not tolerate mediocrity in their circle. Every member of their mastermind is handpicked, tested, and aligned in vision. They understand that environment is more powerful than willpower. Surround yourself with the right minds, and your thinking is elevated. Surround yourself with the wrong ones, and your vision is diluted. In a mastermind, ideas become movements. The combined faith of many creates a magnetism that pulls resources, opportunities, and solutions from unexpected places. There is a spiritual power to aligned minds. It multiplies belief, it fuels courage, it creates a sense of destiny. The elite never feel alone because they have built a network where every conversation sharpens purpose, every meeting stirs momentum, and every decision carries the weight of collective wisdom. They are intentional with who they allow into this inner circle. Trust is earned, loyalty is expected, vision is shared. There is no room for laziness, jealousy, or distraction. Each person in the alliance adds value, or they are removed. The mastermind is sacred. It is not a social club, it is a power generator. And within it, the elite find accountability, encouragement, and strategic clarity. While the masses socialize for escape, the elite collaborate for expansion. Every interaction is purposeful. Every connection is evaluated. Time is not spent, it is invested, and the greatest investment is in relationships that sharpen their edge. They are not afraid to ask for help, to admit weakness, or to share wins. They understand that strength lies in synergy. The mastermind also fuels persistence. When one member feels weary, the others lift. When one falls into doubt, the others speak faith. When one sees limitation, the others point to possibility. The group becomes a fortress against fear, a mirror for growth, and a launchpad for action. This is why the elite do not crumble when challenges arise. They are reinforced by minds that do not tolerate quitting. But a mastermind is not built by accident. It is curated, nurtured, and protected. The elite know that one wrong influence can poison progress. One negative voice can corrupt vision. So they guard their associations as fiercely as they guard their time. They are not afraid to walk alone for a season if it means building a circle of power later. They value alignment more than attachment. They also lead their mastermind with humility. They contribute, listen, and learn. They do not seek to dominate, but to elevate. The alliance is based on mutual respect, mutual ambition, and mutual accountability. Every member is growing, every member is building, and because of that, the entire group rises together. Wealth becomes inevitable because momentum becomes unstoppable. Together, persistence and the mastermind form an unbreakable engine. One gives the fuel, the other gives the force. One ensures you don't quit. The other ensures you grow smarter as you keep going. One gives endurance. The other gives expansion. The elite know that these two forces, when combined, create compound success. Not just financial gain, but mental, emotional, and spiritual elevation. Their persistence gives them grit. Their mastermind gives them guidance, and the results are exponential. Wealth and success, like the 1% elite, are not accidents. They are the results of intentional living, disciplined thought, and relentless pursuit. The elite rise because they possess a definite purpose, think with clarity, act with unwavering faith, master specialized knowledge, persist through every obstacle, and align with powerful minds. They build their lives deliberately, knowing that success is not granted, it's created. Every step, every decision, every habit is tied to a vision greater than comfort. They do not wish for greatness. They prepare for it, they work for it, and they persist until it becomes reality. That is the elite standard.